edge of the garage so we can follow the pitch of the roof up here, come out to about right here roughly, go back down, and that's where the roof is going to end over this way. All right, guys, here we are for another episode, another part of the roof build here over our patio. So what we got going on here in swinging around, we're going to be doing just going over one more thing before we get to concrete here. So now we got the concrete all poured here, but what I did is I dug out this area to here and then extended the patio area along the side here. You can see it's a little bit different coloration between the patio that was existing and what was poured new. And so I had to dig this out and lay rebar both on top and in the hole. So we go over that and hit that. And then also the plumbing and kind of the initial step to get the plumbing in the right location. So that's what we're going to be hitting on today. Hope you guys are enjoying. Appreciate it. Let me know if you got any questions. Here we go. All right, guys, here we are on the new pour setup for the rooftop patio. I have it edged out, so I'm actually extending the patio out a little bit because of where these sit on this side are offset to where this side over here is actually over the patio. So to make it look uniform, putting in more concrete there. See, as this goes out straight up, the beam is going to be right there at the edge of the garage so we can follow the pitch of the roof up here, come out to about right here roughly, go back down, and that's where the roof is going to end right over this window. So concrete here, follow straight out, and that's where right here the beam is going to sit. The roof on both sides has about a 2-foot overhang, so you're going to have your beam, and the 2-foot overhang will hang out a little bit past this. This is about 18 inches wide as you go here. And so ultimately I'm also doing cabinetry. I wanted to put it on the other side, but based on how this is all kind of coming out, I had to put it here. So cabinets are going to run here, along here. As you can see, we got rebar going. I do need to put rebar in the holes as well. I had to get those cut still. We'll go through that process. But move out of the way here to get rebar over there. I ran the water line, so I got lucky. If you remember in the earlier video, every hole had something in it. Well, one of them had 2 water lines in it. So what I did, I haven't tapped into them yet, but they're down here. They're down here underneath the sand. I did put sand over it to kind of protect it from direct contact with the cement. Over here, you see I have cement board. When I pour the cement, it's going to stop roughly here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I ran these to the other side of it so that I will have available access once the concrete is poured to be able to go in and tap into the hot and cold water lines that run right along here. So we got this mostly under here, and then for the drain I also just stubbed this out, so we got it going down here, and then this block of wood there measures where the end of it is, so that when we come time to run the plumbing, we know where it's at, and so we can get at it. But next step is we're going to be cutting some more rebar. This is 1/2-inch rebar as specified, so I'll be doing a run all the way down and around, and then in each hole I'll be doing a square that's going to sit about 3 inches off the floor of it there. Obviously I need to come down this way with a little bit more rebar, so we'll be going through that, and then once that's done, we're going to be renting a cement mixer from the Home Depot as well, like we did the concrete saw. But there we go. Each one of these holes are at least 18 inches wide and long, as well as at least 18 inches deep. Most of them are a little bit over. I always figure better to build it out, maybe go a little bit, couple inches over, than to go a little bit under. Especially these end ones. These end ones have actually, you can see, dug back in a little bit. So some of these are more like 24 inches wide, just because this is where the beam is going to sit, going vertically across one side to the other. So I wanted these to have a lot more stability and strength behind them. So there we go. We got all these forms up. Forms are easy. I've never done forms before, but I mean, it just makes perfect sense, right? You're going to level it out to any area you need it level. You do want a little bit of a slope, and always best to slope away from the home because you're channeling water. Here in Seattle, we do get quite a bit of rain during the winter, so you want to channel that water away from your structures. This whole pad goes a little bit at a slope from that side over to this side, and so we just followed that along and did our forms accordingly, kept them level along, and put them all together. So there we go. Rebar in. Should be concrete here within the next day or so. Like I said, I'll be renting my own mixer and doing all the concrete myself. I do have a stamp, and we're going to color it with a little bit of release as well. So got a couple things we're going to throw in there that'll be helpful in any situation. But there we go. There's an update on what we got going on with the patio. All right, so first step is we're going to finish off the top here by cutting. Now you're going to want to measure a solid, call it 20 inches. So you have 20 inches of overlap from one rebar piece to another that you're going to end up tying together with a little bit of tie wire. So if we take it out, we call it 20 inches there. So we come out to, there we are, let's call it about 62 inches. That gives it an inch from the edge there. So we're going to cut that one, so 62. And this one, same deal here again. This one's going to come out to about 80. So one at about 80 inches. There we go, 80 inches. One at 62. Go ahead and get that cut. There we go. There we are. We got our overlap, where and how we need it. Goes to the end. We'll cut this one. As you can see, don't need to cut all the way through, at least halfway. and you're good. And there we go. Rebar done up top. Now we're going to cut the rest of the bottoms, make squares for underneath. But there we go. All right, back to cutting rebar here. I actually found, so I had a grinder with a metal cutting rebar disc on it, and actually finding out that this portable bandsaw just eats right through it, no problem. Way better than the grinder did. Quite a bit less sparks. It's a bit more safe as well. So what we're gonna do, I'll show you. Let's do a little experiment here. The time that it takes to cut through 1/2-inch rebar. Done. 12 inches. Here's the grinder. And it's still not done. It's only made about a little bit halfway through, but we'll just take it, bend it, and break it off. I reckon it'd take about at least twice as long if you want to cut all the way through. Probably at least 25% more. I don't know the exact timing on it, but it was quite a bit. A lot more sparks, a lot more stuff can go wrong with something like that. The blade could fly off, you could break the blade. I mean, it is a metal cutting blade, but still. There you go. If you have a bandsaw, cuts right through, no problem. We'll get the rest of these cut, ready to go. All right, something that was brought up to me that I need to address was the water line. So I had it down here where the water supply is, about 18-20 inches down, roughly. And I had it snaking up, going under the concrete pad, and then it was gonna stub up right there. Well, code, and the right thing to do anyway, really, was to come back in and do a trench. So trenching it from the hole alongside the patio, and we're going to bring it out to where that board is, and then we're going to cut in, bring it up. So I have 1/2-inch pecs, and then we're going to use insulation on either side of it, both the 1/2-inch and the 1.5-inch around any open pecs that comes up. So we're going to have the pecs in a 1.5-inch PVC, which is then going to be insulated all the way down. And then obviously everything under the cabinet will end up insulating. It doesn't typically get super cold in Seattle. I'd say, no, winter you're probably looking at right around freezing, maybe a little bit higher as the average temperature, but it can get down to 10-15 degrees. So be smart and just do it right the first time. We're just going to dig this trench out. We're making pretty good progress. I went and picked up this trenching shovel, 4-inch trenching shovel. Definitely makes it a little bit quicker going through this. I also thought about using my auger like I've done on the holes, but that's a lot of augering, making way bigger part than you need to. And all in all, this is going to be quicker because of just the augering and hitting so many rocks. There's so many rocks in this. That guy right there, just to show you an example. But here we go. So we're going to do this piping the right way. We'll bring it up, bring it in. Let's get the digging. All right, and here we go. Fully finished. So the end sticking out here, where they're going to tie into the water lines. This is it. This is about 20 inches down, roughly. So I encased it in, that's 1.5 inch PVC. And then as it comes up, I have it insulated. There we go. I have it insulated going through, up, and then this will be where it comes up from, come through the concrete. But there we go. So stub that in. That's going to allow me to make sure we're setting us up for success down the road, not getting any any burst lines. And if there is a burst line, I can then pull these out where we need to pull them out and replace it with another line. There we go. Next, I'm just going to fill this back in, down where we need it. Except for right around here, I'm going to keep this open because we are going to need to connect to the line here. So there we go. Got it dug.